I think it's like,
why are you pissed?
well, I'd say irritated's probably a better one, which I don't think is justified. I think it's more of a me thing rather than anyone else thing. I think it's more like
Are we all just annoyed today, Brian?
maybe.
We're all grumpy pants.
I think it's like when I realize how certain aspects of our policing are so behind, and then thinking about how much it's going to take to get us to where I think is appropriate, it's just like frustrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually, I can relate to that feeling a lot.
Yeah, it's like fuck, like that's so much work.
Quite a lot. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. What is it that most stands out to you?
Ooh, I don't know offhand. I think it's you know what? This is gonna sound dumb, but genuine understanding of RS and PC.
Yeah, that is a big one.
It's like I think this iteration of law enforcement, and including those who maybe have been around long enough but didn't, like, you know, in this iteration, let's call it, they've been trained or retrained into thinking very like formulaically, if this then that, instead of in a manner that makes them actually think and articulate of like, can I do this? If so, here are the reasons why. And I'll give you an example. Like that forehead apprehension, right?
Right.
We decided to go to Little Seoul to find them, right?
But we caught him?
No.
Oh, okay.
But we went down there with like 30, 40 cops and like kicked the hornet's nest. And it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. Not really. I'm not a big fan of that in general. Like, unless, you know, they're standing around with guns and shit. Because I think we're sort of like intentionally putting ourselves in danger trying to cause something when we don't even know if the individuals are there, right? But in doing so, it is we ended up chasing Opay. Zuck comes in. No other forehead, no Manx, no Miguel, etc. So UC units start looking for them. They could be at a warehouse. They could be robbing a bank. Me and Oxby go to find the Chaos Legion, find this, find that. End up at Polito. We see Vidal. And I'll say that with 90% confidence because the motherfucker literally wears the same clothes. It says Besties across the back. We don't need to be like, we're not putting out a warrant for him, but we can say, hey, that's probably Vidal. We can
probably that guy.
But the radio was like, had this energy of like, well, do you have probable cause it's them or like positive ID? And I'm like, it's a Polito. We can say, hey, that might be them and try to capture him and then find out.
Yeah, what the hell is this fucking idiot talking about?
And it was the energy of it. And it was like, you know, the questions that are being asked. And I'm like, I know what this is trying to imply, right? So I was like, okay, fine. Like I was a little like, just like, you know, like if we haven't seen him at Little Seoul, they aren't coming to save their boy. This guy's wearing Besties across his damn chest. We can be like, it might be them. It could turn out they're not.
You know what's ironic about that, though,
we'll find out after we search them.
What's ironic about this, though, is I will so often go to these bank robberies, and people will ask what group is robbing this, and they'll just say, "Oh, it's Manor, it's Besties."
I love that.
So
you
why
said
would
that.
Why would they feel so comfortable in stating that, but they wouldn't feel comfortable with what you just described to me?
I love that you said that because that's exactly what I wanted to say on radio. Like, wait, why all of a sudden are we taking special ultra dumb precautions here? Like, why are we taking the dummy pills now when we'll be like, hey, Ray, are you robbing that bank while he's like in the middle of a thing? Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. I don't understand what the point is. Like, I quit. Yeah. I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense to me.
We can find out we're wrong after the fact. And it's not like it's a case of like, you know, let's say clean people that we haven't caught yet, or, you know, other areas we might be a little bit more lenient in concluding things, you know what I mean? But regardless,
I think it's gonna require a whole like mindset shift, like a personnel change almost. Like that.
There was also there's like just little things like we wanted to go grab Miguel because we saw his vehicle sitting somewhere post chase, and I'm like, what's our cause for that? It's like, oh, I think he might have been Polito. I think we saw his car. I'm like, brother, like, I'm down for going hard, but we still also need PC for that. You know what I mean? So it's like little things where I'm kind of like, I want our officers to articulate so we don't got to do it for them. You know what I mean? And, but on the bright side, I do think we got a plan. Oxby and I are already planning on cooking up some joint task force stuff. How does UC operate? How do you pick a target? How do you apprehend that target? Who decides on the, who makes the call for when we got PC? So I did think away my irritation, and I said, you know what? I can sit here and complain, or I can solve. And so, and manage the migraine in the in between.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, that's good. I mean, listen, I would like to kind of hear what you guys' plan is to fix this. I'm curious to think what you think would be the right way to go about it.
I think it's focusing on specialization. So UC, like anyone can go UC, if they want to go do fun stuff. Like I'm not opposed to that necessarily. But in the task force, those UC units are going to have a strong understanding of PC, knowing what they need to do when they're undercover so they don't end up, polluting the detainment. Like folks like Bean or V Gray, you know what I mean? Folks that if they do a controlled traffic stop, they're not going to chase and we end up getting screwed in court, but know those little things. And then the TRT folks, the ones who know that if they're given an order, get that guy, they know the PC's already there. They're not asking questions. They just know to grab them. You know what I mean? So
it's definitely one way to fix it.
Yeah. Because
I'm concerned that we have like officers that don't even feel comfortable in engaging their brain. You know what I mean? That's concerning in and of itself.
This might sound a little doomy, but from a numerical perspective, I don't know how logistically we'd fix that until the PD blows up and we start again.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like when I was imagining how I would fix this problem, it would basically be like
start again.
Start all over from scratch type thing.
Yeah.
So, and that's not really something we have the time or the manpower to do, unfortunately.
I feel like if we are enabling those that are already enabling themselves, like our Maves, our Beans, our Bjorn, who's absolutely an all-star, they are going to, that information will percolate from people saying, I want to be like that. I want to learn from them. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think we just got to shake people out of their comfort zone too,
Yeah,
a lot of people
absolutely.
have just been I feel like it's almost been like patrolling with zombies. And I don't mean that like an assaulting way. I just mean like, everyone's so used to just showing up at the bank. They just wait, they're so stuck in the patterns and the routine of it all that they don't really engage. They never had to really engage their brain, truthfully.
Yep.
And we just got to shake them into being a living being again. You know what I mean?
100%. Yep.
We just got to figure out how to do that. And I think you're right. By having people that are good example setters, people that can really get them out of their comfort zone and do things, then it'll happen.
Yep. Agreed. I think, and yep.
I'm glad we're on the same page on that.
Yeah. It hurts sometimes, but on the bright side, if it's so busted, it gives us job security. You know what I mean?
We got job security, Brian. That's a good way to think about it. It's a very good way to think about it.
Yep. Another thing too, I may sometimes get paid, but like deep down, I actually enjoy solving problems. So it can be irritating at times, but the fixing is enjoyable too. So it's got points of migraines from time to time. So
yeah,
it
is part of the fun.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I've been enjoying like having some problems in front of us that don't seem impossible to fix, truthfully.
Yeah.
And I like the amount of agency that we have to engage in these problems too.
100%.
It's very good. We just need to kind of get Pred on track. You know what I mean? Just head in the right mind space for this.
So Frost brought that up to me yesterday. He was very concerned about, he's getting like he said there was too too many people in command. He wants to reduce it, and then the next day he's got 7 and da 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 da. And I said, look, Pred's gonna do what Pred's gonna do, right? And we don't have that control, nor will he ever have that control. However, we could be the best of ourselves, in our county. And when people see that working, they're gonna be like, well, shit, their shit's working. So, you know what I mean? But
I agree.
Yeah.
Brian, I have a question. When I go to prison for contempt of court, will you make sure that no one like mistreats me or whatever or anything like that? Will you help me serve that time? Kind of an abrupt topic shift,
why would a law enforcement officer go to jail for contempt?
Well, they told me to issue a formal apology to the judges, and I said no, I'm appealing it, and I will see you in court instead. And I'm probably gonna lose, but I'm gonna keep fighting it regardless.
I don't think you got to serve time in Bolingbroke.
You don't think so?
Nope. Give me a sec. There's nothing in here.
I mean, it's within their purview, from my understanding. They could give me jail time if they chose to. And I'm going to be honest with you, Brian. I've been kind of a real asshole to them, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
The thing is, there's no definitional difference between the jail cell and... I've been holding some of this back. There is no difference between a jail and a prison defined in our legislation. And therefore, you could serve your time in our custody, and they can come and try to pass case law on it. But until they write legislation, if you get sentenced, I'll bring you right down to, BCSO and just keep you, inside the building.
Well, I appreciate that. That'd be much more preferable,
Yeah. I think I will.
Listen, I'm not going to do well in prison, Brian. I'm not really, I'm tough, but they'd probably rip me apart and rip my arm off and shit, use it to fucking make guns with it or something.
Yeah, I do not like the idea of contempt leading. It's unreasonable. Even outside of San Andreas, if law enforcement was given like contempt related shit, it would not be served in a fucking, in the general prison system. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty true. By the way, are you involved with the Hannah Mayberry BCSO mayor's office stuff at all?
I am. No, I'm a little too conflicted.
That's fine. I understand. I won't bring it up with you then.
Yep. I'm cool to talk about it, but I wouldn't want to be like on the case. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yep.
Well, I more so just wanted to, bring something to your attention, which I thought was very concerning. Remember that conversation we had with Grayson about how there's not a single case up that has gone over that thresholds? Well, there's actually one case, one specific single case that has been ignored, and it's been rotting on the docket for 2.5 months now.
With the Hannah Mayberry is that she wanted the serving of a subpoena, and it wasn't done?
No. Oh. The mayor's office is claiming that she was fraudulently transferred the properties and they want them back.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yes. And that case is the only one that meets their thresholds. And I'm starting to wonder if the reason that they're so defensive over me pressing them on this civil suit that they slapped us down with, and me pressing them against it, is because they are trying to make this case go away as quickly and easily as they possibly can. You know what I mean? Like what I'm implying here is that I believe that Grayson might know very well that this case would not get picked up by a judge. This is speculation, of course. I just want to make that clear. Like, I don't have any actual evidence or
of course
anything outside of like the circumstances, but I'm inferring that it's possible that Grayson, or the DOJ has collectively decided not to pick up this case for whatever reasons, and have now decided to pass legislation that would allow them to just come up with whatever decision they wanted to and get it off the docket.
Yeah, I think that is very possible. Yeah.
Do you think that they would put legislation for it just for one case?
No, I don't think it's for this case. However, I do think that they put up the legislation they did for good reasons, but that doesn't negate necessarily that this isn't a convenience. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
The other thing I'm concerned about is there's 3 simultaneous civil cases surrounding this, and they happily have been engaging in all the other ones except for the primary, because the primary case would set precedents for the other 2 civil cases that are being overheard. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know. It's very concerning to me. You told me not to get too mired down in fighting with the DOJ on this bullshit, and I totally agree with you. But I do have to fight with the contempt stuff. And
100%.
like
I think that entire case, there's a reason why, I was kicking things in a direction, because I listen, I don't care who, I'll make this clear, I don't care whose opinion is what on the matter. Just straight up, I look at that and it's annoying and it shouldn't happen one bit, and I don't think we should engage in it, because if others decide to do it and they don't feel a certain way, that's a them problem. You know what I mean?
Right. That makes sense.
So a bit of a side note, the Hannah Mayberry thing, did we generally speaking, when someone, let's say I owned this car, right? Or you own the car, right? And
Sure.
let's say you got this car illegally, right? And then you said, hey, Brian, you can have this. So now I own it. And now the, let's say, rightful owner came to you and said, hey, that was mine. Wouldn't the court case be against you? Or no, it does go against me. Never mind. I've got this backwards. Yeah, it does go against Hannah Mayberry, and if she wants her money back, she's got to sue the person she bought it from. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Because she has possession of it now. So
yeah,
you got to go for the person that has your shit, right?
Yeah. Was there a case that proved that the ownership, like, does that?
That's the case that they have not responded to.
Oh, okay.
It's the main part of it, It's like the whole point of these civil filings.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, shit. All right.
Brian, listen, I'm not going to go to a war with the DOJ, but I'm going to go to war with this fucking judge, all right?
Hey, I'm that's part of our system, right? You know what I mean?
How it goes.
We got to keep them in check. They keep us in check, and
that's right.
Voters end up winning at the end of the day.
That's fucking right.
Yep.
And besides, if not me, then who?
Oh God.
You know what I don't like though, Brian? I don't like that these justices are saying that they're conflicted off of these actions. There's like 3 of them.
I don't either. I also got conflicting information, because last time this was brought up with the hounds, which we did not charge, the whole hounds thing fucking pisses me off. They literally committed terrorism all over the place, conflicting people, and we just kind of let them go, pretty much. But in that, I took a statement from one of the justices, and she told me that we can't really get conflicted because we'll just fly in some new judges to take the case. So
yeah,
it's confusing to me why it can happen then, but not in cases like this. You know what I mean?
Because in my opinion, it seems to be a mere matter of convenience and what is best and ideal for them. Because I just had a conversation with Grayson about an hour ago where when I pressed him for details on these specific cases, I said, like, for example, with this civil case, right? I motioned for the Department of Justice or some justices to come in and, acknowledge and reaffirm their commitment, blah, 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 whatever. He entered the case that he claimed he was conflicted of just to say that he gave this judge permission, this magistrate permission to oversee it. Well, if he's so conflicted from overseeing this case in the entirety, how can he also give permission to a magistrate to oversee the case? Would that not also be a potential, and I don't personally see it this way, but I'm just saying under his own logic, would this not be then him also potentially poisoning the well by loading a specific justice or judge onto this case that he chose, using his logic, right, of conflicting himself off of it?
I do not believe in confliction the way that people have tried to infer it in the last 2 years. I've seen cops literally be like, oh my God, I was shot. I can't do any of the work anymore. Lol. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It doesn't work like that in San Andreas. It can't work like that. Because if it worked like that, literally everyone in the city is fucking conflicted on everything. Unless you are a target, right? Like specified target. Like let's say a serial killer's entire life was about going after Brian Knott. Then yes, I'm conflicted. But if I am one of many and I had already opened said case, it's unreasonable to use the confliction card because of the fabrics of the world we live in. And I think that confliction topic has negatively affected the PD on some things, but I think also the judiciary is also in this space. Without knocking on walls, I think maybe people might be a little afraid of doing something that they shouldn't be so afraid of doing. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to say it like this, okay? Because I agree with you. The governor felt completely and totally confident making me a justice and writing the Constitution, and also simultaneously handing me a law enforcement department that was responsible for overseeing the other legislative authorities. If conflict of interest was that big of a deal, he wouldn't have done so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really think that conflict has ever been that big of an issue, and that people are making it out to be, you know?
I think if there's a belief of conflict by a party, it is that party to then bring it up. So for example, let's say you felt a judge was conflicted, you could, and like, you know, I think they should be a little bit more looser. And if someone's got a problem with it, they can raise it up and they go, okay, you know what? I'm with you on this. We'll give it to another judge. Until that happens, I agree that I think it feels similar to people just even in PD throwing their hands and be like, I'm conflicted now. No, bitch, you just don't want to do the work.
Yeah, like, you're just kind of that's coward's way out, you know?
Yep.
You try not to do the hard stuff.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for having this conversation with me. It's just been very frustrating for me writing up these appeals and whatnot, and just stewing in my own thoughts, you know?
Yep. No, I'm with you.
I'm trying to be more professional and more thoughtful in the way that I conduct myself, but it is very hard sometimes.
Oh my God, trust me. There's been a couple times where I just want to do the old bro. Hey, you! Hey, get off duty! Fucking run a lap! You know what I mean? But I feel
it is so hard to resist the urge.
Yeah. I think we're also at a point that you do that, they may actually disappear forever. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't want that.
Me either. I don't
but
want
I'm
that
also
to
not
happen.
like actually serious in like an outer worldly space when I'm
of course. Yeah. It's not that serious.
It's just pretend serious, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, all right.
Well, thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to writing, I guess.
All right.
Okay. Frost is in.
I heard if he say his name 5 times, it might show up. You know what I mean?
Frost.
All right, catch you around, Angel.
You take care, Brian. Oh, Brian.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Slow about the racing investigation you're doing yet?
The which one?
The racing stuff that you guys were thinking about folding into DTF?
Oh, Apollo?
No. Sergeant Slow over there. He wanted to have a chat with you. I had a conversation with him
I have
this
not
morning.
chatted with him yet. Nope.
Okay, I instructed him to come have a conversation with you about some stuff you'd like to do.
Ooh,
something that
okay.
you would be interested in. It's basically along the lines of the street racing stuff you brought up to me. He wants to actually spearhead that. So
that sounds like a great idea. This sounds like, remember back in the day we did the detective bit to the SRU?
Yeah,
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I want to do that, but I don't want to mold it into PRT because PRT has become purely an administrative cert. That, you know what I mean? Like, it is basically like they handle the paperwork and basics like facts and whatnot about the people in the cert, not what they do. You know what I mean?
100% agreed.
So I would rather this investigation thing be folded into a group of people that are actually interested in investigating.
I think that's a great idea. Hell yeah.
Okay, well, he's gonna be writing up some SOPs and talking to you about it.
Okay.
So I guess look forward to that.
Slow wants to do this.
Yeah, Sergeant Slow.
Okay.
That's his name, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'm just more shocked that he wants to do it. It's like, I didn't think that'd be something he'd be interested in.
Yeah, he's doing it with Daisy, and he wants to get Apollo involved.
Oh, Dukakis.
Dukakis, yeah, Daisy Dukakis.
Okay, that makes me very confident. I think she's very good.
Yeah,
not that he isn't.
too.
It's just he's learning on a couple things. Okay, I need to let you know, and this is unrelated but can be relevant. Slow is very much a baby sergeant and very much needs a lot of learning. There's a whole thing. You remember that situation with like Ruby and whatever they brought up in the office yesterday about Helen reducing a 77 to a 78? Well, at the end of it, it turns out I told him to handle it, and apparently he told people that if you don't want to go to Helen 77s, don't do it.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And Helen was so mad because he told her, and she was like on the verge of like getting really mad. I spoke to her afterwards, and I spoke to Slow afterwards. Slow puts his foot in his mouth a lot. I also don't think he was ready for sergeant, but he's there now, and I'm going to support him to get there. And I told him this. I told him that anytime you got to deal with reprimanding people or stuff, bring me in. I'll show you how to do it, so you can learn from experience rather than winging it, if that makes sense. Because he's a good guy. Right. He wants to learn. He just is literally winging it, right? Helen is now, her situation's been resolved, and what I told him is, next time we reprimand, the complainer and the person being complained about is brought in a room, and it's sorted out right there and right then, either that same day after the incident or the next day, so that there is no game of telephone, because it turns into drama that no one wants to deal with. And so he didn't understand that.
Well, that's good.
So,
well, everyone's got to grow into their roles. No one's perfect.
Yep. Nope. Yep. That's right. I got plenty of folks.
I'll let you take care of that.
Yeah.